on GMA. The new details about the mass shooting in New Mexico that left at least 3 people dead and 6 others wounded. We're live there on the scene. And the high-stakes meeting between President Biden and Speaker McCarthy as the clock ticks down to a potential catastrophic debt default. And the new details and questions about Jamie Foxx's recovery. You'll see those stories and so much more right here on GMA.
Picture a cell phone and an email machine all in one thing. There is a free wireless internet signal all across North America, and nobody has figured out how to use it.
The unlikely and relatively unknown story of the world's first widely used smartphone hits the big screen in Blackberry.
What do you call it?
It's called a Blackberry.
Try typing with your thumbs.
Most people don't really know the story behind Blackberry. It's one of the rare things that had such a cultural impact that people don't know the backstory.
Glenn Howerton says he was fascinated by the characters.
The complete dynamic difference between Mike and Jim. That was all the most interesting stuff about it to me.
We are in a race to get this thing to market, and we are a year behind. I need a prototype.
I'll do it perfectly, or I don't do it.
Mike, are you familiar with the saying, perfect is the enemy of good?
Well, good enough is the enemy of humanity.
Jay Baruchel says he was still using his Blackberry when director and co-star Matt Johnson pitched him the film.
He was like, I want to make a movie about the Blackberry guys. Do you think you'd want to be one of them? And I pulled a friggin' Blackberry out of my pocket.
You guys have no idea how to run a company. I created this entire market.
Behind every sort of quantum leap, right, is a guy or a girl that you might not have heard of.
You said they were the best engineers in the world.
I said they're the best engineers in Canada.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Ahead in the next hour, GMSA, a new warning about a scam and how thieves are stealing your money before they even get online. Plus, they lost their children almost 1 year ago in Uvalde, and now the parents of Robb Elementary shooting victims are still begging to be heard. The sights and sounds from last night's board meeting about online threats against schools. And up next, a shooting rampage in a small town in New Mexico. What police are saying about the gunman and a possible motive. And as we head to break, we've still got flashing lights and some flares. I-10 at I-35. Stephen Cavazos is aware of this incident. We're still trying to gather some more information as the morning goes on. We'll be back.
We've made it plain to our Republican colleagues that default is not an option. Its consequences are too damaging, too severe.
This morning on GMSA, the pressure is on for President Biden and Congress to handle the dispute over the nation's debt ceiling as a June deadline approaches.
Back here at home, San Antonio police are investigating a double shooting at a gas station on the city's west side. What we've been able to learn since then coming up in this hour.
Outside, Mike says this is a fairly normal morning as far as temperatures go. He is tracking just a few showers out there in parts of our viewing area on your Tuesday.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
It is time to rise and shine. Good morning, everybody. It's 6 o'clock on your Tuesday, May 16th.
Hi, thanks for joining us. It's really pleasant outside when you step out. Sometimes, you step out, you're like, oh no, about the humidity, but today was okay.
Yeah, not bad at all. Great way to start a Tuesday. And Mike Ostrade joins us now, and then we'll talk to Stephen with traffic.
Another great way to start a Tuesday is a couple of holes in the clouds there. So we're starting to see a few of the nice little oranges and yellows of the sunrise as the sun is thinking about coming up. And now this is in one spot, but then in other areas down to the southeast, we've got a couple of these showers in southwestern Atascosa County, northern McMullen County, right down here, Live Oak, and not much. I mean, just a few of them out there, and perhaps even a few of them kind of hidden with some of that clutter. And then further off to the northwest, out in parts of the hill country, we've got a couple little sprinkly showers, Bandera County over there in toward Val Verde, as well as southwestern Edwards County, all kind of moving off to the northwest. Rain chances, yes, they do exist today. They are lower than what they were yesterday as far as how many people are going to see rain. It's going to be fewer of us will see rain than what we saw yesterday. Mid 60s right now. Actually, we are 1 degree below normal right now, 66. And the dew point has also dropped down somewhat. So, yeah, it's not like Steph was saying, it's not like you're walking into that wall of humidity when you step outside. You just kind of barely notice it. Mold is on the high side, although it came down a whole bunch, about 1/5 or so of what it was the previous day. The updated count's going to come out right around 7:30 or so. So we will have a little bit of sunshine thrown in, mostly cloudy skies, 10% chance for a few of those light little showers out there. Rain chances will go up to 30% later on today. We're going to be in the upper 70s at noon. And again, a couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms. Most of us don't see rain. If you do, however, could get a pretty hefty downpour very quickly. It won't last all that long, though. Then after today, faucets pretty much get turned off and the heat gets turned up as we go into the latter portion of the week. At least we'll have a chance to dry out, maybe cut your grass before the weekend with some more, albeit small, rain chances. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Stephen, anything big going on out there?
Well, we still have this crash here, Mike, and I would say this is a pretty big issue for anyone that is trying to get on I-10 West to 35 South. You see plenty of flashing lights. We've been keeping a very close eye on this particular area for the last probably 20 minutes or so. First responders have been out there. In fact, I saw some of them actually walking through the scene with their flashlights. So likely they're investigating what took place out there, but we still have that area blocked off at this time. There's no word yet on how many vehicles were involved in this crash, but we do know at least one was still out there, and we hope everyone is doing okay. But this is going to impact the commute, as I mentioned, for anyone that is traveling along I-10 westbound to 35 southbound, because right now that ramp is closed right now, so you would not be able to get through there. My advice to you is may start looking for some different routes as the commute does get rolling, because as the minutes go by, we're going to see a lot more folks take over the roadways, and a lot more of that congestion will take over our map. Thankfully, right now, it's still pretty green, 6:02. We're not seeing a lot else out there. Very quiet, so it's a perfect time to take your travels into the Alamo City. I-10 westbound, very green from Seguin, 29 minutes at this hour. Along 87 northbound from Livonia, we can expect about a 33-minute commute. And for our friends down in Floresville, should take you about 29 minutes to the Alamo City. But this will impact anyone's drive time heading down I-35 southbound, because that ramp is still closed off. You see more folks out there on the roadway. I'm going to keep a very close eye on this throughout the morning, and I'll have more updates coming up a little bit later on in the newscast. Mark.
Stephen, thank you. This morning has gotten off to a terrifying start for people near a Southeast Side shopping center.
They had to scramble to keep their distance from a man who they say was walking around firing a gun. Katrina Weber is live along South New Braunfels, not far from Fair Avenue.
Katrina, we begin with probably the most important question. Was anyone hurt?
Well, thankfully, no one was hurt at all. Police did take that man into custody right here in this parking lot. But this started actually on the other side of the shopping center here near South New Braunfels and Fair Avenue. I want to give you a look at that. That he was taken into custody without any sort of incident at all. Guns, plural, into custody as they took him into custody as well. Now, this started over by the Whataburger. We spoke with a couple who say that they were in line there waiting to order food when they saw this man walking down the street with two guns in his hands, firing off randomly at the sidewalk in the sky. They said that they backed out of that driveway and tried to get away, but it seemed like that man was continuing to come in their direction. Now, again, police did end up taking him into custody. We're not sure of the charges that he faces, nor are we sure exactly why he was firing the gun. Police say they had yet to talk to him and try to figure out what was going on. But thankfully, they did get him before anyone was hurt by any of that random gunfire. Reporting live on the Southeast Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Also new this morning, a man was rushed to the hospital overnight after he was shot on the southwest side of town. This happened around 2:45 at an apartment complex on Ames Avenue. That's not far from Division Avenue and Somerset Road. Now, police tell us the victim was outside a woman's apartment when her ex showed up and shot the victim. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay.
Investigators are trying to figure out what sparked a fire at an abandoned building on the city's west side. That fire started just before 11 p.m. in a building on Southwest 19th Street. It's not far from Tampico and South Laredo Streets. Firefighters say they arrived to find flames showing from the commercial structure. We're told it appears the fire started on the outside of the building, then worked its way up to the second floor and the attic. No one was hurt.
And new details this morning after a man's body was found in a creek. Police say the discovery was made Monday afternoon behind a gas station on West Avenue near Jackson Keller on the city's north side. Now, right now, officers are not sure what caused the man's death or how he ended up in that creek.
80 morning headlines: a deadly shooting killed 3 people and wounded 6 across a residential neighborhood in New Mexico.
As ABC's Andrew Dimbert tells us what police are saying about that shooter and who was being targeted.
Authorities say the young man seen in this video went on a shooting rampage, opening fire along a residential street in Farmington, New Mexico.
There's multiple shots still going off in the background on our open lines.
3 people were killed, 2 police officers were wounded. Several other civilians were also injured. Police say the 18-year-old shooter was killed by responding officers.
Fired at least 3 different weapons that we can confirm at this point, including one being an AR-style rifle.
Neighbors heard shots being fired beginning around 11 a.m.
Officers responded to the area to find a chaotic scene where a male subject was actively firing upon individuals in that neighborhood.
Be advised, I got several people down.
Multiple homes and cars were hit by gunfire as the suspect traveled a quarter of a mile through the neighborhood.
I'm in my garage and I hear this rap, 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 rap.
Officials say the motive for the violence remains unclear.
It appears to be purely random, that there was no schools, no churches, no individuals targeted.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
In some other headlines, President Biden and top congressional leaders are meeting today over the nation's debt showdown. Right now, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the U.S. is at high risk of defaulting in less than 3 weeks if the debt limit showdown continues. Before agreeing to raise the debt limit, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is insisting the White House cut trillions in federal spending. U.S. defaulting on its debts could halt Social Security payments and leave U.S. troops unpaid.
Meanwhile, Wells Fargo has agreed to pay $1 billion to settle a lawsuit. That lawsuit accused the bank of defrauding shareholders about its progress in recovering from a series of scandals, one being the treatment of its customers. The bank has operated since 2018 under consent orders that improve governance and oversight. Shareholders accused Wells Fargo of overstating how well it was complying with those orders.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis appears to be just days away from officially jumping into the 2024 presidential race. ABC News reports his team is telling donors to expect a gathering in Miami next week, coinciding with a campaign launch around Memorial Day. It comes as DeSantis signs a new bill into law prohibiting state colleges in Florida from spending money on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, also known as DEI programs. Right now, 6:09, 67 degrees.
And still to come before 6:30, AI-powered search may be coming to Amazon. We're going to look at how it works and when you can see it online.
After the break, a new warning about a scam and how thieves are stealing your money before they even get online.
Looking out there with live cam, pretty pleasant right now. Beautiful look at the sky there. 67 degrees. Things will warm up, but just a little bit today. We're going to check in with Mike for all those details coming up.
Good morning, welcome back. 6:13. This morning, there's a new warning about how thieves are stealing your money.
It's called check washing, and that's where they wash the ink off your checks, and then they're able to clean out your bank account. ABC's Morgan Norwood explains how it works.
It's called check washing. It's a decades-old bank fraud scam, but government officials say it's running rampant again. In fact, if you send or receive checks via mail, experts say you may be vulnerable.
Check washing is a type of fraud where the scammers get a hold of legitimate checks that you may write for a utility bill or as a gift to a loved one. And they take that check and they put it into a chemical solution. Usually it's something like acetone that you can find in most nail polish removers. And that allows them to get the ink that you have used to write the check off of the check.
At that point, crooks have a blank slate.
Once the check dries, you can write whatever you want. We've heard of scammers using taking just the name off and not taking off the whole number. Like, let's say it's a $50 check, they'll make it a $150 check.
According to the United States Postal Inspection Service, they recover more than $1 billion in counterfeit checks and money orders every year. And this year, the agency has blasted warnings to consumers to help them avoid being the next victim.
Those public blue mailboxes that you see in your corner are being checked less often. The Postal Service is reducing the number of those blue boxes, and so more mail is getting put into the ones that are still there, which makes them attractive targets to scammers who can do things like wait until after the last pickup.
But even if you don't use the public mailboxes, your personal inboxes still prey. So the best solutions to keep your money safe?
Considering going paperless and transition to paying your bills or sending money online. When you are writing checks, try and make sure you're writing them in indelible gel black ink pen. What we've heard is that that's a little more difficult for the acetone to take off of the paper.
Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
6:15.
Go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos about the situation at I-10 and I-35.
Better news over here. 10 at 35, things have cleared out. I've been keeping a very close eye on that for the last 30 minutes or so. Thankfully, first responders have already finished the job out there, and it looks like that ramp has reopened. Remember, this was a crash that was actually reported along I-10 westbound at 35 south. So it really wasn't causing a major issue with drivers, but it was still causing some minor slowdowns for folks that were traveling through. Again, that's reopened, so we're going to get that off of the map. You can see plenty of green out there, which is better news to report. Wide look now, though, at 6:14. We're going to have to start to keep a very close eye on this because a lot more of that congestion will creep in there, especially as we get closer to morning rush. But thankfully, I wouldn't say there's a need to rush, but definitely plan ahead because we have road work that's going to take place even tonight. I mentioned this yesterday, State Highway 151 over on the west side of Bexar County. We do have some of the barrier installation that will begin tonight around 9 in the evening and hopefully wrap around 5 tomorrow morning. We'll see a single eastbound main lane closure on the westbound frontage road from Wiseman Road to Loop 1604. But you can always head over to ksat.com/traffic for the full list of closures. We have a lot of helpful information out there. But back here, things are looking a lot better. So I always like to say there's better news to report for folks that have to head out.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
We'll take it.
All right, heading on the bus this morning. Still might want to have an umbrella handy. Just, keep it where you can use it if you're one of the folks that gets a couple more showers around here later on this afternoon. A patch or two of fog is possible this morning. You haven't seen a lot of it out there, and even a few sprinkles. We've got a couple of them showing up on radar. Then 82 for a high temperature later on today. We will have plenty of clouds, a couple of peaks of sunshine here and there. Fewer folks are going to be seeing rain, but again, if you do, you can see a fairly hefty downpour, so you can pick up inch and a half, 2 inches of rain very, very quickly, as was the case in this picture out there right now from yesterday. And this was in South Bexar County. Total, 3-day total, 4 1/4 inches, picking up another 3/4 or so of an inch yesterday with those showers and storms that moved through really, really quickly. So again, this is what you could pick up today if indeed you got another one of those showers to move through your area. Smattering of clouds, nice looking sunrise on tap as of right now. Okay, Kasky made this graphic yesterday, and it's really, really a great explanation of what's going on. This is the drought map. It always comes out on Thursday, so this is last Thursday. So this hasn't yet taken into account what rain that we had. The update is going to be coming out in a couple of days. However, in the outlying areas where you've got the exceptional and extreme drought, then replace that with the rainfall that we've had over the past couple of days. And you can see there is a lot, 2, 3, 4 inches of rain, even more than that, especially down here around portions of Bexar County, Medina County, a little bit less in parts of the hill country, but this is fantastic. And of course, the updated drought monitor is going to be coming out on Thursday, but boy, we got rain exactly where we needed it. We are getting a little bit more right now in parts of the hill country, just those few scattered showers. Not much in and around the metropolitan area. This is a little bit of clutter showing up. There may be a 1 or 2 sprinkles kind of hidden in there, and then a few more of these showers. A couple of them there in Atascosa County, McMullen, Live Oak, B County. Going down 37, you may run into 1 or 2 of these showers. We will, like I said, have a couple of more popping up later on today. But fewer folks are going to be seeing rain. It's mid-60s on average around here, so we're actually a degree below normal right now. And the humidity is not bad when you step outside, better than it was about this time last week. Computer models are not really over anxious about having rain pop up around here. Just a few of those showers again, but if you see one of them, you'll get a decent downpour, and that's going to be the situation through dinner time and maybe into the early evening hours. Then after today, faucets get shut off for a couple of days, and we are going to be heating up toward the end of the week. 78 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, 1 or 2 showers trying to pop up here or there, and then later on this afternoon, 82. The normal average high temperature is 87 degrees. So way below that, and a couple of showers, a couple of storms. Most of us don't see rain. Tomorrow, all right, so you can't 100% rule out a stray shower, but it's going to be very doubtful. We get back up to a normal high temperature, basically, and then up to 90 Thursday and Friday. Chance maybe for some of the lawns to dry out a little bit. This weekend, then, temperatures drop back down. Again, a chance for some rain. If you have outdoor plans this weekend, I wouldn't change them, but sort of like today, there will be couple of those showers, thunderstorms popping up, and a heavy downpour or two. So
people sometimes ask me after working, with you all morning and listening to the forecast several times. They're like, "Hey, so is it going to rain today?" And I'm like, "Probably, probably. It's May."
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Usually I say, "Well, Mike says this."
Well,
this,
okay.
this.
Right.
Just in case.
I usually start with that too. Sometimes it gets me in trouble though.
I'll stick by my forecast.
I know, we're kidding.
We stand by you
Yes.
as well, Mike. That's why we're all here at the same desk. 620, 67 degrees.
And just ahead, a fisherman is speaking out about the terrifying moment when a tiger shark attacked his kayak while fishing in Hawaii last week. That's next in your GMA First Look.
With wet AMD, sometimes I worry my world is getting smaller because of my sight. But now, I can open up my world with Vabysmo. Vabysmo is the first FDA-approved treatment for people with wet AMD that improves vision and delivers a chance for up to 4 months between treatments, which means doing more of what I love. Vabysmo is the only treatment designed to block 2 causes of wet AMD.
Vabysmo is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye, or are allergic to it or any of its ingredients. Treatments like Vabysmo can cause eye infection or retinal detachment. Vabysmo may cause a temporary increase in eye pressure after receiving the injection. Although uncommon, there is a potential risk of heart attack or stroke associated with blood clots.
Open up your world.
A chance for up to 4 months between treatments with Vabysmo. Ask your doctor.
In this morning's GMA First Look. Watch this terrifying moment as a tiger shark nearly overturned Scott Hiraguchi's kayak while he was out fishing off Kualoa in Hawaii last week.
Tiger shark! Tiger shark ran me.
Watch again. You can see the shark barreling into this kayak. And this morning, that fisherman is telling his harrowing tale to Good Morning America.
I had caught a fish, a small fish that I had turned around and put in my fish bag. And then I had my head down, tying hooks. And I heard this whooshing sound, and it kind of climbed up the side of the kayak and bumped me. That was scary.
And we'll have much more of this incredible story coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Victor Okendo, ABC News, Miami.
Now to your morning consumer news, and an AI-powered search may be coming to Amazon soon. The company reportedly planning to transform the way customers search for products in its online store. Bloomberg spotted job listing describing a reimagined search. It would have an interactive experience to answer product questions and more.
WhatsApp has a new security feature. Chat Lock allows users to lock and hide individual chats. The thread is removed from your inbox and put into its own folder. From there, it can only be accessed through your phone's password or unlocked biometrically.
And a new startup named Telly is offering 500,000 free TVs to consumers. Here's the catch. The televisions have 2 screens. The one on the bottom will show a steady stream of ads. Telly says revenue from ad sales will pay for those free TV sets.
Well, that's interesting. Time now 6:25 and 67 degrees for now.
Still ahead at 6:30. Everything is online these days, but if you struggle with the digital world, you're not alone. How you can avoid being left behind. Plus,
it's been a year and nothing has changed. We're still stuck on May 24th.
Ask yourself, what did I do the last year to make a difference?
Online threats against schools was a big topic at last night's school board meeting in Uvalde as we approach 1 year since Robb Elementary. Now the changes the school has made so far to help students feel safer.
Sun is coming up, but the headlights are still on at I-10 and Probant. We'll talk to Stephen Cavazos coming up after this break as we approach the bottom of the hour. This morning on GMSA, the NBA Draft Lottery is just about here. What Spurs fans can expect tonight as they hope for this year's top pick.
And let's look out there with a live cam. Very nice morning so far. We're at 67 degrees, and some of you, not very many, but some of you will see showers today. So we're going to check in with Mike pretty soon to check on that.
And a good morning to you. It is Tuesday, May 16th.
Thanks for joining us. And let's go ahead and see. Maybe if people can hold off washing their cars a little bit.
Probably. Well, yeah, you know, Murphy's Law. If you wash your car, you'll be the one to get some rain. And if you haven't had any, that's not a bad idea. But yeah, we will get a chance to wash cars and hopefully cut the grass in the next couple of days. We're starting off beautiful start. We've got a couple of holes in the clouds right now, so it's going to be a nice looking sunrise, at least here in town. We got 66 degrees, 1 degree below normal, dew points at 63. This time of year, that's not bad at all, just above 60, but in no way is this going to slap you in the face when you step outside this morning. The humidity. Got a couple of showers scattered about, again, here and there. Not anything showing up in and around San Antonio proper. We do have a couple of these showers down here to the southeast. Been watching some of these this morning, a few of them covering a good chunk of Live Oak County as of right now. If you're going down 37, you will run into that. A few of them here and there in Atascosa County, and then further up to the northwest. Been watching these few showers there in Kinney, Edwards, and Valverde counties. Even been a few lightning strikes up there, and that's pretty much about it. There were a couple of them in Bandera as well. We will see a few more developing later on this morning and this afternoon. And like yesterday, you can see a pretty hefty downpour if one of these moves on through your area. But again, fewer folks are going to be seeing rain today compared to yesterday. Mid 60s everywhere. It is fairly comfortable this morning. And again, dew points for the most part are fairly comfortable as well. We've got some upper 60s in spots, but no 70s. I mean, think about this time last week. We had those really, really high dew points out there. Mold is on the high side. Grass is low. Of course, the updated count comes out in about an hour or so. There may be a patch of fog here and there as well. I haven't seen a lot. Just kind of be on the lookout for it, as well as a few of those stray sprinkles. Then a couple of showers, a couple of storms today. Plenty of clouds, a little bit of sunshine peeking through. Low 80s for a high temperature. Lots more sunshine tomorrow, and then especially Thursday and Friday, and that's when things heat up. So at least, like I said, grass is going to get a chance to dry out, cut the grass a little bit after all this rain. Upper 80s and low 90s. Then we get into the weekend. Temperatures go back down. Rain chances just pop up a little bit. Weekend plans, I wouldn't change them, but just keep your umbrella handy. That's the best advice. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, it's been pretty quiet overall.
Yeah, it has, and pretty shot here, Mike. Check this out. We have 90 at Military. What a gorgeous shot from TransGuide. And thankfully, we're not spotting any issues out there. You can see right behind me a beautiful sunrise, but also the east and westbound lanes getting a little bit busier as the minutes do go by. We have been seeing a lot more traffic out there. Thankfully, we haven't spotted major issues, especially along 90. That tends to get very busy, which is why we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown build up out there. US 90 eastbound, traffic's moving at just 14 miles per hour. Remember, folks, that's always expected around this time, as a lot more people are getting up and getting their days started. Giving you a wide view of the metropolitan area, still some scattered construction, but none of it is impacting traffic, at least just yet. But what we're going to start to see a little bit more of is, again, some of that red and yellow that's been building up out there. So we can see it already along 90, and I can guarantee you we'll probably see some of that along I-35 southbound as folks are making their way into the Alamo City, let's say from Live Oak. But other than that, the morning has been pretty fair, and this is, again, a beautiful shot from our friends over at TransGuide 90 at Military. The morning is off to a good start, but we're going to keep a very close eye on things, and I'll have more updates for you coming up later this morning. Mark.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, police say 2 people in a stolen vehicle were hurt during a shooting at a West Side convenience store. Happened last night around 11 on Castroville Road, not far from Highway 90 and Southwest 36th Street. Police tell us a man in his 20s was shot twice in the back, and a teenage passenger was hit once in the arm. Victims drove to South Acme Road, where they eventually called for help. We're told the teen ran inside an apartment complex, and the driver was found with the car. So far, no arrests have been made. Last night, there were heightened emotions at Uvalde CISD's final board meeting before May 24th, the 1-year mark since the deadly shooting at Robb Elementary.
The majority of the meeting was spent talking about online threats against schools.
Lee Waldman was there as families of the 21 victims asked the district to take these threats seriously.
I feel like we need to take everything serious and not just assume that it's not credible, because we never know because that man, that person that did what he did, put it on social media. Nobody took him serious either.
Days after a non-credible online threat to a school caused panic in Uvalde and resulted in 90% of students being taken out of school, the after effects are still being felt. Berlinda Arreola, who lost her step-granddaughter Amory Jo, says not enough has been done to even stop the threat of violence.
It's been a year and nothing has changed. We're still stuck on May 24th.
Jackie Cáceres' uncle Jesse Rizzo agrees.
I beg you guys, when you guys get home, get in your car, whatever, ask yourself, what did I do the last year to make a difference?
In response to the increase of online threats against schools, the district will no longer allow backpacks for the remainder of the year. Instead, it will implement a clear bag policy. Interim Superintendent Gary Patterson says he believes these threats will continue and ramp up in the days leading up to May 24th.
Very difficult. It's frustrating to all of us, and it's one of the fastest rising causes of frustration in our country where we can't track these in real time and get that information whether they're credible or not.
Patterson says that if parents choose to keep their students home for the remainder of the school year, those will be excused absences as long as the parents let the district know and students complete their work. And just a reminder, there will be no school here from May 23rd through May 25th out of an abundance of caution. Graduation is happening May 26th, and there will be extra security. For GMSA, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
The Department of Justice will have to go by a temporary court order that will not let them skip a step in releasing migrants from custody. The order means the department is temporarily blocked from quickly releasing migrants without court dates. This is despite the DOJ arguing that the Department of Homeland Security found a demanding situation at the southwest border. The DOJ argued if Border Patrol was not allowed to release migrants quickly, DHS could arrest them and release them with notices to report. And Governor Greg Abbott tweeted about more help coming to the border. He said in part, Idaho will send state police to support our response to the border crisis and help stop drug and human smuggling. I thank Governor Little for deploying these resources, end quote. Now we have complete coverage from the border on our website. Just head over to ksat.com and look for these stories on our homepage.
Right now on KSAT.com, a new episode of KSAT Explains. Hector Castro says Narcan saved his life. It's a medication that reverses an opioid overdose. So how does Narcan work? The episode breaks down what it does to the body and how long it takes to work and what happens to someone after they're given Narcan. Watch it now on KSAT.com and the KSAT YouTube page. Looking ahead, the 2023 NBA Draft Lottery is tonight in Chicago. That's when the Pistons, Rockets, and our Spurs will watch those ping pong balls bounce to determine which team will get the #1 draft pick and the rights to select French phenom Victor Wembanyama. Detroit, Houston, and SA each have a 14% chance to claim the top pick. Last time the ping pong balls landed in the Spurs' favor was 1997 when they drafted Tim Duncan first overall.
I remember that. The lottery will determine the order of the first 14 picks of the draft. It all goes down tonight at 7 in Chicago on ESPN. The percentages say the Spurs will finish no lower than the 7th overall pick.
638, 67 degrees.
And just ahead, it's no secret that everything is online these days, but if you struggle with the digital world, you are not alone. How you can avoid being left behind in just moments.
Welcome back. A recent survey showed 2/3 of Americans think they're tech savvy, but after answering a few questions, it showed most of them are not.
So they open emails from people they don't know, give out personal information to strangers, and they think they're okay with online shopping.
As Leslie Hudson reports, there are some simple things you can do to keep your personal information safe.
It is not as easy for me to keep up as it is for younger generations. So I am digitally disabled.
But what's it really mean to be digitally disabled? A survey of over 2,000 people, mostly millennials, found that 64% always considered their information to be safe when online. 55% said they would open a link in an email from a stranger, and 55% said if they were hacked, they wouldn't know what to do. So what do you need to know? First, always keep your browser like Chrome, Firefox, and Safari updated. Next, don't share too many personal details on social media. Even seemingly harmless details like the name of your pet could reveal clues about your password. Never open links from emails without taking a close look. If you click one, you could be downloading malware, viruses, and more. If you get an email asking you to participate in a survey or a pitch for a money-making opportunity, don't click on it. And we know it's tempting, but skip the online quizzes that pop up on Facebook and other social media sites. Quizzes collect and sell your data, with a few ways to help you become digitally abled.
The hardest part of it, learning all of it.
I'm Leslie Hudson reporting.
6:43.
Let's get a check-in with Stephen Cavazos.
Things have been pretty good over here. I can't complain, and I know a lot of drivers that are getting the day started really won't find a lot of issues, but maybe some slowdowns. That's expected around this time, guys. 37 at Jones Avenue, you could see north and southbound lanes are getting a little bit more congested out there, and that's expected, but I'm not spotting any major issues. Just some pretty sunrise shots there at 410 at Babcock, and a little bit more heavy traffic. But take a look here. We mentioned that there are slowdowns starting to take place, so if you're traveling along US 90 eastbound, maybe in the next few minutes or so, expect to see this if you're heading in from Castroville. Traffic moving pretty slow as you approach Loop 1604 at 11 miles per hour. So not very fast out there, unfortunately. And we see the same problem over here at State Highway 151 eastbound near Petrenko Road. Traffic more or less is moving around at less than 40 miles per hour. Just went up to 53. So not too bad there, but we're going to see that probably stretch a little bit further as more people get out on the roadways. A wide look at our map here now shows a lot more red than what we saw a few minutes ago. As I guaranteed, there it is. We can see a lot more folks are getting the day started with us, but as we take one last look around town, 37 at Cesar Chavez, it's not been a bad morning. We did have our fair share of incidents, but those have cleared out, and now we just have some pretty sunrise shots too, so have some competition, Mike. Friendly competition.
Yes, we do. So.
Yes.
Are there still, you were the tech story and all that stuff, you were joking saying, programming my VCR. Are there even still DVD players around?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
A lot of them are built into TVs, the last generation of them. But even those, I think, are going away now.
Yeah. Because I know it's funny when my kids will ask me, so when you had we didn't have computers. Well, what about you? Didn't have that.
No internet. That's a big one.
Yeah. You actually had to get up to change the channel. So anyway, did you ever have to get up to change the channel on TV?
But we had the one that had the numbers on it. Back. Yeah, my parents were very old school.
Not an actual dial?
No, you have to punch in the number.
So it wasn't a dial, it was digital.
It was, I guess. I'm going to go find out. I'm sure they have it somewhere in their house.
So we had to turn the channel. That's hence the phrase, turn.
Thanks for showing us that.
Well, it's kind of like how people go, roll down your window, and they do There are no hand cranks in cars anymore on windows, I don't think. Great picture from Oscar yesterday. Yeah, talking about VCRs and DVDs, movie-style movies. Creepy horror movie kind of clouds. Kind of, sort of, yeah. Thank you very much for that. Nothing creepy this morning. Sun is just peeking up over the horizon right there. And a little bit of sunshine thrown in with some of the clouds, obviously. We have these few showers popping up here and there. Still a couple of them down to the southeast. They really haven't moved all that much. I mean, they are moving along a little bit, maybe even a couple of them there in parts of Atascosa County. Just a sprinkle or two here and there. And then further off to the northwest, been watching that batch of rain, which is all but fizzled on out around here. And we will have some more later on, mid-60s right now, so it's very, very comfortable out there. Okay, the other thing, Mark, though, when you were making fun of me doing this, but people go, so I called them. It's like, really? You have to put your hand up to your ear to know what to call? Anyway, I digress. Dew points are in the low 60s right now, low to mid 60s, so it is very comfortable. And as a matter of fact, dew points are down compared to this time yesterday. Yeah, it's really not bad. It's a pleasant morning. And again, we have the rain chance out there today, plenty of clouds. Computer models really aren't overly anxious, I guess, to scare anything up. 30% chance at best, and that means most of us will not see rain. One or two of them out there, decent downpour. Yeah, you can expect that if indeed you get one or two of these showers cropping up, but really things are going to start to dry out from this point on if you obviously aren't one of the ones that get some of the rain today, and then we will get that chance to dry out all the way through the end of the week. Now jump ahead to Friday and a nice day, then Saturday. Now again, this is one of those long range models that sort of paints in with a broad brush. Doesn't mean it's going to rain everywhere, but we will have that chance for a couple of showers around here during the day on Saturday. If you have outdoor plans, I would not change it for Saturday nor on Sunday, but again, just keep in mind there will be a couple of showers hanging around here, and that's going to be the case. looks like into Monday, at least a couple of them scattered about the area. And temperatures, we will peak going into the latter part of the week, but then drop back down again below normal. 78 at noon, mostly cloudy skies, a couple of showers out there. Just one or two of them. Same thing later on this afternoon. One or two of them. Shower, maybe a thunderstorm or two, and could see a heavy downpour. If you get one of those showers or storms, most of us won't see a drop today. Tomorrow, we continue to dry out. Same thing Thursday, Friday. It's going to heat up. It's going to be pretty hot, about 2-3 degrees above normal going into the latter part of the week. But then look at that. We drop back down 5, 6, 7 degrees below normal, low 80s through the weekend. And outdoor plans, don't change them.
We won't.
Good.
We'll hold on to them, but we'll just be aware,
right,
just in case.
Okay.
So think about other gestures you do, like going, call me. So.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we all do
I wrote
those.
you a letter.
I'm actually I'm thinking of old stories involving when tech was becoming a thing, and we kind of had to coach parents and grandparents, give it the good college try, right?
Yes, kind of like our kids are doing to us.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yes, we're there.
Yeah.
6:49, 67 degrees.
And looking ahead, hair loss is not something most of us want to think about, but it's not always something that runs in the family. We're going to explain tomorrow on GMSA.
Outside with Live Cam, you figured out the remote this morning, and that's all that matters. You're watching GMSA. We'll be right back.
Yay.
Good morning. Coming up here on a Tuesday on GMA, the new details about the mass shooting in New Mexico that left at least 3 people dead and 6 others wounded. We're live there on the scene. And the high-stakes meeting between President Biden and Speaker McCarthy as the clock ticks down to a potential catastrophic debt default. And the new details and questions about Jamie Foxx's recovery. You'll see those stories and so much more right here on GMA.
And we have a reminder about a couple of KSET community events. First, tomorrow you can watch our town hall about access to mental health care. Lee Waldman will talk to local experts about how it can be a challenge for anyone. We're going to answer some of your questions, and you can watch it on our live stream on KSET.com at 2 p.m.
You are invited to a health and wellness conference happening this Thursday and Friday. That's the 18th and 19th at Norris Conference Center. There'll be more than 15 workshops and resources related to mental health and wellness. The 2-day workshop is free, and it's open to families and professionals.
And from this angle, things look good on the roadways, but let's go ahead and check back with our Stephen Cavazos.
They look good. In fact, US 90 at Military. I do want to bring that shot up here because we actually had a really gorgeous sunrise here along our TransGuide camera. We don't really get to see this in my department too often, but beautiful sunrise along 90. However, although it looks really pretty out there, things aren't looking too great out on the roadways. We have a slowdown reported there in the US 90 eastbound lanes as you approach Loop 1604. Traffic moving at just 11 miles per hour. Pardon me. And then we have a pretty serious incident. In fact, Katrina Weber is standing by working to get us some information. But right here at Lackland Air Force Base, just outside along Southwest Military, you can see that there's a pretty big buildup out there. Some sort of police incident is taking place. We'll work on getting some information out there from Katrina. But right now, just prepare for some slowdowns. Looks like traffic may be down to 1 lane. Also, slowdown reported here along State Highway 151 eastbound as you approach Petranco Road. We're still seeing traffic move at 46 miles per hour, but that's pretty slow given the fact that a lot more folks are getting out on the roadways, hoping to get to their destination on time. But remember, we want you to get there safely. Again, lots of active construction is what you can expect throughout the day as well. And as a quick reminder, here along I-10 in Kendall County, we have sign installation. Remember, that actually wrapped yesterday, but a portion of it, I forgot to update this, will actually continue today, Tuesday, May 16th. This work still starts around 9 in the morning and hopefully will wrap around 3 in the afternoon. Single eastbound main lane closure from Frederick Creek to US 87 is what we can expect. But right now, I think we can expect some pretty quiet roads at least here at 90 at Military. The shot's not too bad, but a little bit further down, we have big slowdowns that are expected. So we're going to watch the area very closely throughout the morning, and then we're going to work on getting some information confirmed from Katrina Weber about that incident that's taking place not too far from Lackland.
Nice looking sunrise, as you can see out there. Still a couple of showers, some down there along the coastal plain and then out to the northwest. We have a small chance for a few showers later on today, mid 60s as of right now, and 82 high temperatures. So we are going to be well below normal. Again, a stray shower, thunderstorm. Most of us won't see rain. If you do, could have a decent downpour out there. And then over the next couple of days, chance to dry out. It is going to be heating up. And then another small chance for some rain this weekend. If you have outdoor plans, I wouldn't change them. And then temperatures will drop struck back down. Got another gesture people do unnecessarily.
Okay.
Aside from going, so I called the person, they go, I texted them. Right. I mean, yes, I get the word text. You don't have to show me. So
Pretty universal for sure. Yeah.
I still do that. Yeah.
I mean, if they're like in the distance, they can't hear you, but roll down the window and scream at them. So.
You just did one right now.